Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, I'm sitting on the Vyasasana for the Bhagavatam class as I wrote to you yesterday. 9:20 Prabhu. I'll go. Hare Krishna. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Ram Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Radhe. Jai Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Haribol, 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 Haribol. Jai Vishnupad Paramamsa Parivrajakacharin Stotra Sata Shri Srimadi Divine Grace Labhai Sharanarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shlabopad Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Paramamsa Parivrajakacharin Stotra Sata Shri Srimadi Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Shlabopad Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Brinda Ki Jai. नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप श्री मायापुर धाम की जय। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा माँ यमुना माँ की जय। वृंद देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्री प्रभुपाद ट्रांसेंडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय। द मोस्ट मर्सिफुल लॉर्डशिप श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन जी की जय। द मोस्ट मर्सिफुल लॉर्डशिप श्री श्री गौनिथाय की जय। द मोस्ट मर्सिफुल लॉर्डशिप श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्र महारानी की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Shaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayesho Bhadresho Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttamaśloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 24, entitled Chanting the Song Sung by Lord Shiva, text number 75. Shreyasham iha sarvesham Shreyasham iha sarvesham Jnanam nishreyasam param Jnanam nishreyasam param Sukham tarati dushparam Sukham tarati dushparam Jnananaur Vyasanarnavam Jnananaur Vyasanarnavam Shreyasamiha sarvesham Jnanam nishreyasam param Sukham tarati dushparam Jnananaur Vyasanarnavam Shreyasamiha sarvesham Jnanam nishreyasam param Sukham tarati dushparam Jnananaur Vyasanarnavam. Shreyasamiha sarvesham Jnanam nishreyasam param ज्ञानं निःश्रेयसं परं सुखं तरति दुष्पारं ज्ञाननौर्व्यसनार्णवम् श्रेयसामिह सर्वेषां ज्ञानं निःश्रेयसं परं सुखं तरति दुष्पारं ज्ञाननौर्व्यसनार्णवम् श्रेयसामिह सर्वेषां ज्ञानं निःश्रेयसं परं सुखं तरति दुष्पारं ज्ञाननौर्व्यसनार्णवम्. Any Matajis? श्रेयसामिह सर्वेषां ज्ञानं निःश्रेयसं परं सुखं तरति दुष्पारं ज्ञाननौर्व्यसनार्णवम्. Shreyasam of all benedictions, iha in this world, sarvesham of every person, jnanam knowledge, nishreyasam the supreme benefit, param transcendental, sukham happiness, tarati crossover, dushparam insurmountable, jnana knowledge, now boat, vyasana danger, arnavam the ocean. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In this material world, there are different types of achievement, but of all of them, the achievement of knowledge is considered to be the highest, because one can cross the ocean of science only on the boat of knowledge. Otherwise, the ocean is impassable. Please repeat. In this material world, there are different types of achievement, but of all of them, the achievement of knowledge is considered to be the highest, because one can cross the ocean of nescience only on the boat of knowledge. Otherwise, the ocean is impassable. Shri Shri Gaunithai, Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani Ki Jai. Purport. Actually, everyone is suffering within this material world due to ignorance. Every day we see that a person without knowledge commits some criminal act and is later arrested and punished, despite the fact that they actually may not have been conscious of his sinful activity. Such ignorance prevails throughout the world. People do not consider how they are risking their lives in an attempt to have illicit sex life, kill animals to satisfy their tongue, enjoy intoxication, and gamble. It's very regrettable that the leaders of the world do not know of the effects of these sinful activities. They're instead taking things very easily and are succeeding in making the ocean of nescience wider and wider. Opposed to such ignorance, full knowledge is the greatest achievement within this material world. We can practically see that one who has sufficient knowledge is saved from many dangerous pitfalls in life. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 7:19, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate. When one actually becomes wise, he surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlavaha. Such a great soul is very rarely to be found. This Krishna consciousness movement is determined to open wide the eyes of the so called leaders who are full of ignorance and thus save them from the many pitfalls and dangerous condition of life. The greatest danger is the danger of getting a body lower than that of a human being. It was with great difficulty that we attained this human form of life, just to take advantage of this body and re-establish a relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda. Lord Shiva advises, however, that those who take advantage of his prayers will very soon become devotees of Lord Vasudeva and thus will be able to cross the ocean of nescience and make life perfect. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarobhyasya Kripa Sindhubhevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabho Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangam langaite girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatharinam. So in this verse, Lord Shiva is saying, in this material world, there are different types of achievement, but of all of them, the achievement of knowledge is considered to be the highest. So, which knowledge is Lord Shiva is talking about is what we are going to discuss today. And what are the other types of knowledge that are existing which people hanker to achieve. Apart from that, are there other achievements that people are interested in? Yes, many people are interested in money, influence, etc., etc. But with knowledge, all of them will also come naturally. So, they are not considered to be great achievements. If somebody has a lot of money, or if somebody has a lot of influence, all of these things will anyway come when someone has great knowledge. So, knowledge is two types, material knowledge and spiritual knowledge. So, in this world, material knowledge is also very much appreciated. The people who are very much educated, they are respected by people. Because education will give you, it is supposed to give us, education is supposed to give us the discrimination power. That is what is the purpose of education. I am talking about only material education. We will come to the spiritual education later. Material education is supposed to give us discrimination power of what is socially acceptable, what is not socially acceptable. So, material education also gives us opportunity for earning money. The present modern material education is almost geared up for this purpose only. You get good education in good schools and get good grades, then you get good jobs in some good companies and get some good pay scale. That's at best is the education, today's education. So there are more and more departments of education that are coming up. Just this morning I was seeing, and there is a job profile that is recently is asked for is prompt engineer. Prompt engineer means now everything is automatic. Now whatever you want, you will get from computers and some of these search engines, Google, Bing, all these engines are there. There is something called ChatGPT. This is an artificial intelligence program where you can possibly ask for anything and then you will get the exact thing. So prompt engineering is giving proper prompts to this program or a ChatGPT or similar programs so that you can get exact answer. So searching is also a skill. What you want to search and what kind of result you want depends on what kind of prompting you give. So there are institutes who teach you how to use these artificial intelligence programs by asking right questions. So that's a new profile that these days you don't have to be highly skilled uh, in terms of technology or analysis, etc., etc. You just have to know that language of the AI, artificial intelligence, how to interact with it, and what language that it understands, or also teach the AI to learn proper language to respond properly. So, like that, newer and newer uh, avenues are created for people to get into knowledge. A lot of people earlier, they used to take civil engineering. Civil engineering was very prestigious at once upon a time. But nowadays, it's not a big deal at all. Computer engineering is very important because everything is computerized. So how to make programming and all that. But even that has become outdated today. So something else will come, something else will come. So newer and newer educational courses will come, because all these courses are targeted towards getting your livelihood, which gives us high pay scale, and that is what we are going to learn. So in this way, just few years ago, architecture was, when architecture is called very nice profession because you will give all the drawings and all that. But now they found out that with computer you don't need 5 years of architecture. If you just are conversant with a particular software, then you don't have to be you don't have to study 5 years architecture. This I know because my son is studying architecture, and there are colleges which are closed because of this change. And all of you know, a lot of engineering colleges are scrapped off, and they are introducing newer and newer courses. And there are groups that were existing before, HEC and all that, history, economics, and commerce, or whatever it is, civics, not commerce, HEC. And that group almost is not existing anymore because there are no students to accept such groups. Why these changes are happening? Because knowledge is constantly changing, and the whole purpose of knowledge is to get livelihood. But that is not the purpose of knowledge. And now knowledge is also based on remembrance. Suppose you are writing an examination and you have a lot of knowledge, and if you cannot remember what is the answer that you have to write for a particular question, then your knowledge is useless. So knowledge is closely connected with remembrance. So now, with material knowledge, material remembrance means speaking appropriately, getting right words, and to the situation speaking. Such people are called skilled people who can enchant others by their appropriate speech. They are literally very, very high. They use good language, they have good language skills, and they use discrimination and remembrance of proper words, proper sentences, all of that is considered knowledge, but that's also material knowledge. And there are people who, you know, who make jokes, and there are a stadium full of people who wants to pay money to hear their jokes. If you have not heard of this, that's okay. But there are such instances. So all that people want is that some entertainment. So if you can make jokes like that, or giggle, or try to imitate somebody, all these things are very much respected, or very much, they are money earning programs. And all of this comes under material knowledge, material knowledge, material knowledge. But this material knowledge is not actually helpful, because it cannot give you a high thinking of what is the purpose of life. It only can produce some money and some adoration from cheap, temporary adoration from people. That's all. This is not even a permanent adoration. Now someone who is more smarter than you comes up, or someone comes up with a more smarter knowledge, you become outdated. So what is the use of learning such knowledge? We all have to understand, consider, what is the use of learning such knowledge? Why don't we learn that knowledge by which we can cross all kinds of suffering? So that is what is mentioned. Jnananaur vyasanarnavam. Knowledge should help us to cross the ocean of birth and death. That is real knowledge. Suppose if someone is dreaming, and he's dreaming that a tiger is chasing him, what knowledge is good for him, helpful for him? The knowledge that he is in dream, and if he wakes up, that is good for him. That knowledge is good for him. Similarly, each one of us are feeling very fearful because we don't feel who is giving us shelter. We don't know who is giving us shelter. Suppose if a great personality with all powers is there right with you, all the time protecting you, if you have this knowledge, how much confidence that you can have? If we have the knowledge that we will never die, how much confidence that it can give us? We are all thinking we are this body, and this body is going to end one day, and then I am going to die. Everybody is fearful of death. But if this Atma Jnana tells you that you are not going to die. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Na jayate mriyate va kadachin nayam Nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuyaha ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano nahanyate hanyamane sharire. He's saying, what are the characteristics of the soul and the body? Even if the body is destroyed, the soul is not destroyed. If we accept this knowledge, how much confidence that we can get? And Krishna is saying, why are you struggling in this world? I am there with you always. Matchitta sarva durgani mat prasadat tarishyasi. In the 18th chapter, Krishna is saying, all kinds of obstacles you can cross over just by remembering me. Mat chitta, sarva durgani, all kinds of, durgani means obstacles, can be easily crossed just by remembering Krishna. Krishna says, you are my child. I am your mother, I am your father, I am your guru. Aham dhata mata pitamaha. Krishna. Pitaham yasya jagato dhata mata. Dhata. What is that? Dhata mata pitamaha. So he's saying, I am your father, I am your grandfather, I am your mother. And I am staying in your heart as Paramatma. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hruddeshe arjuna tishtati. And I am the one who gives you remembrance, forgetfulness, matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. This knowledge is the knowledge. The knowledge that we have great shelter in the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, sitting in our heart as Paramatma. always ready to assist us and help us to cross this ocean of material existence. This knowledge is the highest knowledge. And without this knowledge, any other knowledge, you may be a great orator, great expert in dealing with people, uh, business transactions you can do very well, and all this knowledge is anyway available. They say, it's not my word, but they say the art of management is to cheat others without their knowledge. That is the art of management. They say that. So this kind of knowledge is available anyway, but the knowledge, who gives that knowledge? The knowledge of Krishna is your father. He is always ready to help you. You don't have to worry. Krishna himself is declaring, Mam hi partha vyapashritya epishu papayonayaha striyo vaishyas tata sudras tepi anti param gatim. Don't worry about your low birth, whether you are born in papayonayaha, very, very demonic species also, doesn't matter. Or if you are born in as a woman or a Sudra or a Vaishya, it doesn't matter, don't worry, I will deliver everyone. Krishna is giving this knowledge. Samoham sarvabhuteshu namedveshostina priyaha. I am equal to everyone, I am not partial to anyone. Isn't it this knowledge is very assuring? This is assuring. This knowledge is completely open in Bhagavad Gita. But why are we not accepting this knowledge? Because we don't have faith. We don't have faith that this knowledge is applicable, this knowledge is real. We don't have faith that this knowledge is actually real. We don't think that actually Krishna, and on top of that, there are people who propose that actually there is no Krishna, there is no Arjuna, there is no Kurukshetra war. It's all an allegorical story. In this way, they deviate people from the actual understanding of Bhagavad Gita, because of which what happens is that people have lost faith. So, the actual Acharya means one who brings faith in these teachings, one who brings faith in the shelter of Krishna. That is an Acharya. And Srila Prabhupada has brought such faith in this world. Even to those people who are not exposed to this Krishna conscious culture, who is completely exposed to some other culture, Prabhupada has brought such faith in the hearts of people. He has given us the faith that, all the bad things, bad mentality that we have, it is not actually ours, it is foreign to us. What is actually truth is, we are all Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabanoi Shravanadi Suddha Chitta Karo Yudai. That you are all lovers of God, you have all good qualities, you have a beautiful relationship with Krishna. It's just that you have forgot that. Because of that forgetting that relationship with Krishna, a lot of unnecessary things have covered your heart. Once you start hearing about Krishna, all those things will be swept away. And then you will again gain your original consciousness of being a lover of Krishna. What a reassuring knowledge that Srila Prabhupada is giving us. What is lacking from our side? We just have to trust the Acharya. Trust. This Acharya is not giving his own thing. He is quoting from the scriptures. He is referring to Krishna. Whatever Krishna said, he is giving as it is. We just have to trust. Instead of trusting so many people, we are trusting so many non-trustworthy people. We are not trusting people who are trustworthy, who have never spoken a lie, who never spoke anything which did not happen. People are so much interested in people who make us believe that there is something which is existing, although it is not existing. You know that if you search in the internet, you don't have to do that, but if you just hear from right persons, that is sufficient. There are people who are selling flats in moon planet. And they can make you believe that if you take this planet, if you take this flat in moon planet, you will have a good view of Earth, it seems. Wow! You can have a good view of Earth. They can make you fall for such things and then make you sell money. So there is a rule. The rule of the government is that a terrestrial space cannot be owned by any country. That is a universal agreement amongst all the people. You cannot claim space as yours. No country can claim their space. So one fellow popped up, countries cannot claim the space, but individuals can claim the space. So I am declaring that moon is mine. He actually declared. And to substantiate that, he has sent that moon is mine, and then he did not get any response from any government authority. So he thought that it is a no objection certificate from all the countries. So that no objection certificate he is selling it as, see, moon is mine, and he has patented it also. Moon is mine is he's patented. I don't know which authority has patented him, gave permission that moon is mine. And that fellow, with zero investment, he is making millions and trillions of dollars with zero investment. How? Because there are so many fools in this world. As long as there are fools, you can make money. As long as there are fools, you can speak anything and then get away. You can make a donkey a supreme God, or you can make God also a donkey. Because there are people who are ready to believe that. So that is why we need reference. What is truth? Truth is not relative. It's one truth is for you, one truth is for me, another truth is for another person. There is something called absolute truth. Absolute truth means it does not depend on your belief. It is truth. Whether you like it or not, it is truth. And that truth is Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Lord, is the truth. We are His children, is the truth. He is our shelter giver, is the truth. He loves us beyond our imagination, is the truth. And all that we have to do is to reciprocate with Krishna's love, is the truth. This truth has to be accepted. And many people think that knowledge means able to remember a lot of things and reproduce a lot of things. That is what is knowledge. Many people think that, like that. And you can accumulate such knowledge by reading a lot of books, hearing from so many people, and quote different verses from different scriptures. This they think is knowledge. But it is said, what is knowledge? Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. After gaining knowledge for many births, if a person comes to an understanding that Krishna I have to surrender because Krishna is everything, that person is considered to be knowledgeable person. Jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamitihi. Such a Mahatma is very difficult to find in this world. Sa Mahatma sudurlabha. So this is knowledge. And if you think that Krishna is everything, and if you can remember this at the time of death, that is actually a success of that knowledge. One is to have knowledge, another is to utilize that knowledge at right time. So if you have remembrance of Krishna, but if you cannot remember Krishna at the time of death, what is the use of such knowledge? So one has to practice remembering Krishna all the time. And it is said, even if you cannot remember Krishna at the time of death, Krishna will remember you. Krishna will come into your consciousness and make you remember Him. Because it is not difficult for Krishna to come into our consciousness. It may be difficult for us to remember Krishna, especially at the time of death when the body is so much painful, kapha is fully filled in our whole body. You know, people who are dying, they know very well, or if you see the people, their whole absorption is pain. They cannot remember. They cannot remember God at the time of death. If they are fortunate to remember God, that is fine. Even if Even if they cannot remember, but they have done devotional service all their lives, if they have done chanting all their lives, Krishna will come and then make them remember him. This is the perfect knowledge. If a lot of people are drowning in an ocean and then someone is expanding that ocean, is that very nice? Prabhupada is giving. Just see how beautifully he is explaining. People are drowning in the ocean. Now, instead of contracting the ocean and then extricating people from the ocean, you are expanding the ocean so that more and more people can die. And that is what is modern solution to the problems. There are openly all these things are available. You know that different countries have they have consented, they have passed a law that at what age girls can allow others to have consensual sex. The age is 13, 14, 15. In various countries it is 14, 15. As soon as they come to a puberty, they can accept such a thing, and it is not considered criminal. I was surprised that Japan has 13 years. The girl's age is 13 years. Or some other is 14, 15. And thankfully India at least has made it 18. And they are trying to increase it to 21, by the way. The point is that you just see what kind of laws are being passed. And before these many months, if you go for abortion, it is legally okay. And above these months, it is not legally okay. In some countries, any time you can be, you can subject it to abortion, you can ask for abortion, and that's okay. These kinds of laws are passed in different countries. Gambling is not sinful in certain countries. You can openly gamble. Pornography is not anymore a crime, or child pornography, or various other things that are going on in this world. All of these things are not crimes anymore. Earlier there used to be some restriction on what you watch. Now there is no restriction. And why? The fundamental right to watch should be there with people. The Supreme Court also said that fundamental rights cannot be abrogated. So if somebody is watching in seclusion, whatever he wants to watch, what is the problem? So that means there are so many websites or YouTube channels which can, show anything they want. And the disclaimer is that we are not broadcasting it, you are searching and you are watching it. So what is the problem? So they get away. Now you understand what kind of laws are being made. These are all called expanding the ocean of material existence. So in this way, more and more, we are sunk in ignorance because of the modern government's laws. And these laws are going to expand only. Earlier, to take divorce, at least it takes 6 months, and nowadays the Supreme Court has given a judgment. If all things are set properly, you can grant immediate divorce. People do not have to wait for 6 months. That means there is no scope for repairing period also. If both are accepting, what is your problem, Baba? So give divorce. It's like triple talaq, talaq, over. This is Hindu talaq, triple talaq it is. So like that, so many newer and newer laws are coming. And these are all proposed by who? Most intellectual people. Intellectual people are supposed to give that knowledge by which you can cross the ocean of material existence. These very intellectual peoples are digging or expanding the ocean of material existence so that more and more people can sink and die. So there is a great need for intellectual people to change their direction. Wake up, intellectuals, wake up. That's what Prabhupada did. Prabhupada actually shook these intellectuals and said, where is your intellectuality is going? Which direction is going? So that, you are creating more and more weapons by which one can be dead instantaneously. Simultaneously, millions of people can be dead. Is that great invention? Or creating a medicine by which you will not die is an invention, which is a greater invention? So we are creating more and more bombs, bioweapons, all these kinds of things we are creating, all these intellectuals, they are constantly, money is poured to them. Research programs are going on so that quickly you can die, quickly you can go to hell. With great fast space you can go to hell. This is what for money is being, pumped. So Prabhupada is saying, this is not the knowledge. If somebody is dreaming and you are creating a solution in the dream, it is criminal. You wake him up from the dream, that is what is the actual solution. Oh, tiger is chasing you in the dream. Don't worry, I will give you a machine gun so that you can shoot the tiger. Is that the solution? So all the solutions that are proposed by the modern science and the modern people are simply expanding the dream or prolonging the dream. It's not breaking the dream. Dreadful dream. So the only thing that can break a dreadful dream is actually the sound that Acharyas have given and the Supreme Lord has given. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This can break the dream, that illusory dream, and bring you to the actual position that I belong to Krishna. I don't have to worry. I don't have to be fearful. This is the dream, this is the knowledge that one has to come to, one has to receive from the Acharyas. So Lord Shiva is saying, he's feeling that, Lord Shiva advises, however, that those who take advantage of his prayers will very soon become devotees of the Lord Vasudeva, and thus will be able to cross the ocean of nescience and make life perfect. So this chapter is full of prayers given by Lord Shiva, and anyone carefully reads these prayers, utters these prayers, understand these prayers, assimilate these prayers, they can cross the ocean of material existence and their life will be perfect. How many such chapters are there in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam? Every chapter gives you that path of liberation. Every verse gives you the path of liberation. You just have to focus and then really put your mind and understand from the Acharyas. So these are few points. Are there any questions or comments anyone has?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, in last you said, Lord Shiva said, one who reads Lord Shiva prayers, he will cross over the material suffering.
Huh?
One who reads Lord Shiva prayers, he will cross over the material suffering and he will become perfect in his life. So then what is the necessity of chanting 16 rounds of Hare Krishna mantra?
It's not a trade, no. It's not a trade, no. Okay, what is the minimum thing that I need to cross the ocean of material existence? If you say, then you don't have to chant 16 rounds also. The Shastra says, you chant once Krishna's name, then you can be protected from the sins that you cannot possibly commit. That is what Shastra says. So, how do we understand this? The understanding is, if you chant Krishna's name once, if you can turn Krishna's attention towards you by that one time chanting, that's it, your life is perfect. So do whatever. You want to chant 16 rounds, 64 rounds, 128 rounds, it doesn't matter. By your chanting, Krishna's attention should be towards you. or by chanting Lord Shiva's prayers. The purpose of chanting is to attract the attention of Krishna towards you. That is why Prabhupada said, you chant in such a way just like a small child is crying for the mother. Do whatever you want, but at least attract the attention of Krishna's merciful glance towards you, so that once Krishna looks at us, na punarbhavam, there is no more death, disease, old age. So, which method by which you attract the attention of Krishna? The acharyas say that you chant Hare Krishna. Acharya Prabhupada said you chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna mantra every day. And one day you will get the merciful glance of Krishna and then you will be liberated. So we have to put faith in the Acharya. The principle is to attract the attention of Krishna. That doesn't mean, please don't get me wrong, that means Krishna now is not looking at us. Only when we chant, Krishna will look at us? No, he is now looking at us, but in the form of Paramatma. What is Paramatma's business? Upadrishtam cha anumantam cha. He just oversees what you are doing and grants whatever desires you have. He doesn't interfere. And if you want him to supply knowledge, he will supply knowledge. Matta smritir jnanam apohanam. He will give everything. But Krishna will interfere in the lives of those who, with utter dependence, just like Mother Draupadi, when she raised her hand, when she could not protect herself, when Dushashan was disrobing her, she just lifted her hands and said, "Oh Krishna, Janardana, please protect me." And then Krishna came and protected. So that utter dependency on Krishna, where Krishna should feel that this person is calling me in utter dependence, I must come and save him. Gajendra was also fighting with the crocodile for 1,000 years, but finally he called Lord, and then Lord came. So you cannot demand Krishna, I have been calling from 1,000 years, you are not coming, Krishna, what is this? Are you deaf or dumb? What is this, Krishna? It is Krishna's choice. He should feel that you are utterly depending on him and you are in dire need of him, then he will come. So whoever can make that appeal to Krishna, they are successful in their life. And it can happen in 1 second, or it can happen for many lifetimes also. The standard is Krishna should look at us. And once Krishna looks at us, it's over. Is that making some sense?
Prabhu, what is the difference between Punya Karma and Krishna Karma?
Punya Karma is targeted to get some material prosperity. That is called Punya Karma. Punya Karma means you do certain activities which are mentioned in the scripture so that you can get more facilities for enjoyment in this world. That is called Punya Karma. Like yajnas, danas, tapas. These are all Punya Karmas. But the purpose of doing these things is to get some Swargaloka or get some benefits in this life itself. And Krishna conscious activity is to please Krishna. It is not anything to do with this material sukhas. It's like, a maid working in our house, our children serving us. What is the difference? A maid is working for us for a pay, and a child is serving us out of love. I ask my son, get me a glass of water. He'll get me a glass of water. He will not say, for one time getting glass of water, can you give me 10 rupees? He will not say that. Why does he do that? Because he has love for me, so he will do it. So that is the difference between bhakti karma and punya karma. Punya karma is done with a mentality of, trade, business mentality. Anything else?
So many times whenever that knowledge it is it is realized knowledge like that, meaning we feel but there is a great difference between knowledge and realized knowledge.
Jnana and Vijnana.
How the knowledge will become realized knowledge? Can you please?
It's like a file which is crypted. Modern people will be able to understand this. A password protected file. Every information is there, but it's password protected. So, Jnana and Vijnana is like that. You have all the knowledge, but you don't have remembrance. So, what is the use of such knowledge? So, that password is given by Krishna. That is the remembrance Krishna gives us, by which the knowledge becomes unveiled. So that is why we have to depend on Krishna. Even though you may have knowledge, what is the use? If we cannot use that knowledge at the right time. Because everything is controlled by Krishna. People can try to, make most out of that knowledge, but they can't actually get the highest purpose for which the knowledge is given. The highest purpose is to actually leave this material world and go back home, back to God. That is the only purpose for which knowledge has to be gained, or only gain that knowledge which actually takes us back home, back to God. Every other knowledge is called anartha. It only obstructs our journey or prolongs our journey. Anything else? Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.